What's up, brothers and sisters? It's your brother G World 7_D, and I want to show you something. See, you gotta understand when you do this research and you start pulling out truth, man, it freak a lot of these white folks out, man. And they don't want to hear that mess. They don't want to hear what you have to say, so they want to come in there and try to distract and distort history. And they come on your posts a lot. I'm gonna go back to this encyclopedia page with UNESCO, all right? Well, not UNESCO, dealing with the Sahara Desert. And I want you to pick up on certain things. How racist these white authors are, all right? And this is out of the encyclopedia book that I have. All right, let me get a better light on this. All right, now I showed you before. I read the other day. It says the Sahara was not always a parched desert. All right, let me get it focused. A parched desert. The Sahara was not always a parched desert, as it is today. All right. Throughout the ice age, the huge glaciers and ice caps of Europe pushed the zone temperate climate southward. The Sahara was then a rich grassland and hunting ground for prehistoric people. Relics of these people include stone tools and rock carvings on sheltered cliffs and walls of caves. I'm gonna try to find my African rock art book and show you more of that stuff. But I want you to continue. As you continue reading, this is how these white folks get down. These early inhabitants of the region may have been the ancestors of the present Berbers of northern Africa. The Berbers are a group of Caucasoid people who are tall and slender, with dark eyes and dark, wavy hair. Their speech resembles that of ancient Egypt, where then it does Arabic, of the Muslim conquerors who came in the 7th century. Now I'm going to continue to read on. By early ancient times, the Sahara was dry and hot, as it is today. The northern coastal strip supported warlike people who made trouble for their neighbors. Raiders from the Libyan desert invaded Egypt. The Carthaginians, they're making them white now, and later the Romans, had to keep a watchful eye on the Numidians. These fierce horsemen lived inland in what is now Algeria. The vast desert baron traveled to Central Africa during the days of the Roman Empire. However, people learned to use the camel for desert travel. Berbers from the Mediterranean coast filtered southward. They improved irrigation systems and planted date palms. Arabs from long camel caravans crossed the Sahara to collect ivory and gold, skins and ostrich feathers, and black slaves from Central Africa. You see what they just did. See, once you get further in the Sahara, under the Sahara, then they start talking about black slaves. The term sub-Sahara was used to divide North Africans, or the continent of Africa. North Africa was considered valuable to white people to steal, geopolitical reasons, to steal its history and its culture. All right, while making the southern part of Africa, south of the Sahara Africa, as being barbaric and quote black Africa. So those are the code words. So when you use the term sub-Saharan Africa, you're using so-called North Africa, supposed to be quote Arab Africa, even though the original Arabs are black, and the Arabs were dethroned by the Turks. So them people who you see running around North African Day are actually Turkish descent. They have black mixed in them, but they're Turkish descent. They have nothing to do with the ancient original Africans, black people in North Africa. Nothing. But you just see what I just read, how they shifted and made black Africa and the slaves south of the Sahara. So when that clown called me and came in my post said that sub-Saharan is not racist, it is racist. He's very racist. And like I just told you, people who really study history know that all those peoples in so-called Northern Africa were originally Negroes. All those people were originally Negroes. And the original whites who came into Africa came there as slaves. They're not indigenous to nothing. Let me make that clear. They came in as slaves. Okay, I'm going to go back. I'm going to show you. All right. the rock art, one of the rock art paintings that you see in pre-Sahara Desert. And this is out of the book from UNESCO. All right, out of the book from UNESCO. You know, and UNESCO stands for United Nations Educational, Scientific, Cultural Organization. Right, and this is the one, volume 2 of the book. It talks a little bit about the Sahara Desert. And it has this is when they had Theoben Obenga and Sheikh Anta Diop arguing about the race of ancient Egypt. Okay. And this is ancient. Now, you obviously that was a damn Negro, man. But these fools want to make everything white. White. And the term sub-Saharan is racist. Hell, there's many Africans who complain about not using that term. You don't use the term that the northern part of the United States, or let's say you don't use the term sub-USA or sub-North America. You have North America and South America, or let's say you won't consider like Canada or United States a separate America from Canada. It's different countries, but you don't use that terminology. Canada's a different country, and you have the United States, but there's no line saying one is sub there. But you use that in Africa because that's a geopolitical term. Still is history, still is culture. And one reason they did it because they viewed North Africa as being more valuable than other part of Africa. I mean, all of it was black. I'll make this clear. All of it was black. But you listen to these goofy white folks, man, they make no sense. Then they start doing some cracker splaining. That's all they do. Lie to steal your history. Like I told you before, I wish I could pull it up. It had the so-called, it's in one of these 2 books I just showed you by UNESCO. The 7 different races of Africa. And these 7 different races were Negroes. And then they had, one of them was labeled as the true Negro. And the true Negro had the super large lips and the super wide nose. Are you serious? So we only look one type, while the other types of black people, are not Negro. If their nose are more narrow, that makes them Caucasian. That's how sick these people are. But the ancient Egyptians had very different noses and features. Some of them had more of a narrow nose, some of them had a wide nose, because that's the diversity of black people. Because you had different, quote, ancient Egypt, just like the ancient black empires in America, consisted of various different tribes that came together to build great empires. You got to understand this. You know, it really boggles me that some of my people don't understand this, but you listen to these goofy white folks. This is what's being taught in our education system, these lies. So I just want to do this quick post. Is that our history has been hijacked globally. And this is why it's very important to study your history globally. Do not use the term sub-Saharan, please. Because that is a racist, geopolitical, white, bigoted terminology. Just do a land grab and steal of a particular region where they found to be valuable to them. Do not use that term. All right? Do not use that term. It is a racist terminology. An ambassador gonna come on my page, gonna sit there and tell me I know way more about the Sahara than his jackass do. All right? The Sahara region, the indigenous people, all of that continent, were Negroes. Period. Were melanated people. They had to be melanated people in the heat originally. Those other people did not come until later. So I want to emphasize this. And so I just read you that from the book, how the games that they played, when you start mentioning black people in Africa, they used the term sub-Saharan or black Africa. And the term black Africa got so obviously viewed as racist, so the new term was sub-Saharan. So you gotta be careful, man. Don't listen to these white folks. And they're mad because more and more people are waking up, but I've been knew this. But now you have the tool of the internet to disseminate this information to brothers and sisters so they can go and do their own research. So I have those 2 UNESCO books, all right? The first one deals with the prehistory of all those cultures in Africa. And then the second one is dealing with mainly the argument on what race the ancient Egyptians were, which they were black. Okay, so Kevin Hart was right. They were black. They were unquestionably Negroes, coloreds, black folks. Period. Period. That's not enough for discussion. None of that stuff is up for discussion. Don't even waste your time arguing with them bastards. Don't waste your time. Because it makes no sense for, how can you have pale people run around in the heat of the sun when they're dressed in light clothing or no clothing? They're damn near fully naked. You can't do that with pale skin. You'll burn of skin cancer. Don't listen to these goofball bastards, man. But these white folks want to continue and lie. See, I know they lie. Because I've done all the damn research. And I continue to do research. And continue to build on what I know. Don't listen to these people. They're liars. What's the term? Don't listen to a white man because he has forked tongue. They actually don't listen to none of these non-black people because they have forked tongues. Do your research, like in my earlier post. Get into study groups. Get together and do the research. But don't listen to your enemy tell you anything, because that is your enemy. And they do anything and everything to lie on your history and to keep you down. As long as you do not know your true history, you view yourself just as a slave and think yourself as just as a slave. And that is the great person who comes from great lineage, who built great civilizations around this world. That's who the hell we are. Study your real damn history. Not only black Americans need to study the Aboriginal history here in Americas, which they are, but a lot of foreign blacks need to study this too, because part of their history, a lot of their history comes from the Americas too. It was a constant movement of black people globally. They traveled by ships. You see, the Egyptians had the supposed ships for the pharaohs, the so-called pharaohs who used to travel, used to send the pharaoh's dead body to another location. Man, they just didn't use that. They used some ships to travel the seas, man. They had wooden ships to travel the seas. I keep saying that. I get plenty of books about boats, all right? I'm telling you now. Study your history. And they had different types of boats, by the way. They had some boats where they just used to fish in a short region. They had boats where you just do for short travel, and had boats for long distance travel, man. You gotta do the study. The information's there. Do not listen to these non-melanated people. Please don't listen to them. And when I say melanated people, I'm talking about black people, all right? There's other people who have melanin in them, but when I'm talking about melanated people with the most melanin and original people of melanin, I'm talking about black people. So I'm not one of them Negroes talking about who fellow melanin. No. A melanated person, like in Melanesia, is black. Let's make this clear. Peace and love.